TitleMatchNetwork.com.
What's your, standout road story from all areas?
Standout roads. Okay, this is one of my favorite stories of all time. We leave Indianapolis, I think it was, and we used to call them hose vans, a 15-passenger van we used to rent. It's Waltman. I'll go from the back of the van forward. It's Waltman, then Scott and Shawn Michaels, and then Hunter and I in front. And I'm co-piloting, Hunter's driving. We've had probably a case of beer. Paul's completely sober.
Right.
We've had a case of beer. I think there was some Jack Daniels in there, and we've all taken some gimmicks. We've all taken some somas. And everybody's ever seen somebody that the somas, when they take to me somas, you go on the soma shakes.
Right.
So we pull in. It used to be an Old Days Inn, but now it's something else. And they used to have those things called Tasty Worlds, or whatever. It was like a restaurant connected to the front of the hotel. So we pull in. As we pull in, we pull to the back side of it off a side road. So we pull we're almost back towards the kitchen when we park. So we get out and we all finish our beers, and we put the beers on on the curbs and wherever. We're all laughing. Walk around the corner, which is a blind corner of wood. Walk down the other side, which is blind, and there's the glass opening of the door that sticks out. It's like a little atrium before you go in. We pile in, and when we do, there's probably 20, 25 cops having some kind of a meet and greet in this restaurant. And we all come in like the Bob Seger story with the hair just, and we do our best.
All right.
But we're in now. So it's we walk out, we're not going to make it 50 feet. So we get in there, and I tell Hunter, I said, Paul, go out, police the beer, get the beers up.
Right.
Get the beer that's open, put it in the back of the van, covered up the bags. So he goes back out, and this is Paul would always wear slacks and a sport coat. He always dressed nice on the road. The rest of us, look like Somalians. So he goes out and comes back, and he said, God, he said there was 15 beers laying. The kid had one on the car next to us. It was just
Right.
So we're in there and we order our food, and the cops are just, you can just, they're just glaring at us.
Do you think they knew who you guys were, pretty much?
Well, one of them said something, and Scott said, "Hey, Russell," or something like that to the guy. And I'm thinking, oh, God, this is it. But slowly, his pills start to kick in. He's closest to the door, so Scott gets him out.
Right.
So he comes back. Kid's in the van. Kid's asleep.
Right.
He's passed out. Scott comes back. So I'm sitting like this, and then Shawn's here. The glass window's here, and then Hunter's here, and Scott's here. And we eat our food, and I look over at Shawn, and Shawn's going into the shakes.
Right.
So he says, "Big man, you're going to have to help me out of here." I'm thinking, oh, man. So about this time, Scott gets up, and Scott bumblefucks through and bumps into some stuff. He's pretty bad. I'm not feeling any pain, but I've got the advantage of being the heaviest. So I look at Hunter, and I look at Shawn, and Shawn's just, it's going to be a rough one. I get him up. I get him about halfway to the door, and I hear one of the cops say, "Fuck that, that's it." And they all get up, and they're going to arrest us all right in this place. They're putting the cuffs on Shawn, and I just said, "No, he's epileptic." And they're like, "What?" They said, "He's got two options. Either he goes to the hospital or he goes to jail." I said, "Hospital."
Right.
So,
cool.
Ambulance comes. They put Shawn on the gurney, and Shawn,
just tell him to sell it.
He was out of it. He was gone. Because we drank that Jack, man. And by the 30 minutes we were in that thing, that Jack hit everybody's system, man. It was just like, oh. And Hunter's stone sober because he was the wheelman. So we they come and they slam the back of the van open, but they're looking with flashlights. There's nothing in there. Kids passed out. They're like, "What's wrong with him? He's just tired." So I said, "I'll travel. I'll go to the hospital with Shawn." They took us to, I think we're going to Louisville or someplace that night. We like left Indianapolis. Must have been like Louisville. It took us to the University of Louisville hospital. So we get there, and Shawn's like kicking out of it, but he's still pretty whacked.
Right.
So the doctor's asking him questions like, "What day is it?" He sounded like a billy goat, and I'm laughing. You know, I'm standing there and I'm laughing. The doctor, like, "What's so funny?" I'm thinking, "Nothing, dude. He just took some pills. It's going to kick out in about 35 minutes. Just, you know, don't sweat it." And but this is what's funny is like Hunter just like started traveling with us, and this has like happened like 5 times in 8 nights. That something's happened, and it's like, you know, somebody, like one of us almost OD'd one night, and it's just like, you know, he came and picked us up at the hospital, and he's just looking at me like, "You got to be kidding me! That you guys, this is how you guys live, night in, night out? Like, you've got to be kidding me! Like, I can't travel with you guys." I'm like, "I know. We'll calm it down." Because we couldn't lose our wheelman. I was like, "Oh, please don't leave us. I need you." But God, that was a story, man. That just, when you think about it, just like I've thought so many times that recreating that, like in just a movie, would be, it would really be hilarious. I probably didn't do it justice in telling it, but.
How'd you land yourself in movies, The Punisher and stuff? How'd that all come about?
You know, it's just every couple of years, like, you know, it's every couple of years. Like when I was early in my career, I did Turtles. Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, because I needed somebody to carry that. They'd built this giant costume for the Super Shredder character, and the guy they had there couldn't carry it. He wasn't big enough to carry it. Wasn't strong enough to move. The actual cape of it like weighed 90 pounds. So they just were looking for a guy that could basically carry the costume. So I got in that, and then from that I got a little part in a couple other small things. I got a couple of television shows, and then I got into wrestling, and, you know, other things came along, but I was making so much wrestling that, you know, somebody offers you in the movie business, you know, to get $100,000 for a month's work's great. I've been losing money,
right,
in the heyday, to give up, you know, to give up a month of my salary. So then, like Sabretooth, I was offered that. I had to turn that down because I was in the middle of a run with WCW. Then when the Punisher came along, they weren't doing anything with me in New York, and they said, "You know, would you cut your hair?" And I said, "What's the matter?" Yeah.
Right. Did you have to ask Vince?
No.
No.
I just told him I was going to cut my hair. I actually, you know, I offered it to do it on a pay-per-view with Chris, but they just, you know, at that point I was, you know, I was so unliked, I guess, that they just, "I will do it on TV." I said, "You know what, fine, do it whatever you want."
Right.
My neck was bad on top of that. So I said, "You know what?" I said, "I'm going to go ahead and do this movie, and then when the movie's over, see what they got for me." And they hemmed and hawed, and I said, "All right, well, while you're waiting, I'm going to get my neck fixed."
All right.
So I got my neck fixed, and time ran out, and they, you know, Jim Ross said, "Man," he said, I said, what would you do?" He said, "Man, Kevin," he said, "just get out of here."
Cash out.
Yeah, he said, "Don't stay here." He said, "They don't know what to do with you." I said, "Good enough for me." So I went home.
TitleMatchNetwork.com